Okay, well, welcome to today's webinar titled Mentor Impact. And I have the honor of introducing our speaker today, Marcus Miller, who is the Executive Director of First T Greater Topeka. So welcome. And I want to share a bit of information about Marcus here. You guys can read, but I just want to, put it out there verbally. So Marcus is a member of the wrong slide. I apologize. Here we go. Marcus serves as the executive director for First T Greater Topeka, where he provides leadership, direction to fulfill the organization's mission. Marcus has an overall strategic and operational responsibility for First T Greater Topeka, staff, programs, expansion, and execution of the strategic plan. As a highly visible member of the community, Marcus represents First T Greater Topeka throughout the Shawnee and Jackson County areas as the primary person responsible for strategy, fundraising, governance, marketing, management, and compliance. His daily involvement is instrumental in helping First T Greater Topeka achieve its full potential. Marcus is a member of the Omni Circle Group, a council member of Stormontville Patient and Family Partnership Council, president of Police Athletics League, and a board member of Topeka Area Sports Commission. Marcus and his wife have 2 children and are licensed foster parents. And this is National Foster Care Month, so that is extremely important. Thank you for that. Marcus says, focusing on self-confidence and internal motivation, I hope to help children realize their future is based largely on how much they are willing to contribute and help the team of people in their lives. So with that, I will go ahead and pass it on to Marcus Miller. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate that intro. Reading all that and hearing you say all that, I might need to ask for a raise because I feel like I might. But no, I really am very thankful that I'm here. This is a great opportunity to speak with all of you. I know we have a little bit of time, so I kind of want to get straight to it so we can kind of talk about what First T is about, because I can talk about myself a little bit if I wanted to, but it's not about me. I care about the programs I'm involved with, and that's the stuff that I want to talk about. So if you guys don't mind, we'll go ahead and get straight into it and talk about First T and what we do to help the community with the mentors and the volunteers that we have. Nope. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Okay. Okay, so like she said, with the First T, we are a youth development organization where we teach character development and life skills all through the game of golf. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about how we do that, the different ways we go about our business here, what our aim is in everything that we do. And I think you guys will relate to a lot of things that we have as our priorities in our organization. Our mission is to impact the lives of young people by providing educational programs that build character and instill life-enhancing values through the game of golf. Like she said, I know you guys can read, but I really think it's important to hear the things that you will be seeing, because I feel like that's even more impactful. Because your eyes can kind of get lost in the words sometimes. Our purpose, we're to enable kids to build a strength of character that empowers them through a lifetime of new challenges. We do that in a number of different ways, which we will talk about today. But first and foremost, it's because of the people that we have involved. And that was why I was so excited to speak with this group today, because you guys are mentor focused. And we know that a big part of what we do is having the correct people in place to be able to mentor our children, to guide them so that they can listen to someone else that's outside of their home, which we all know kids don't listen to the people that are inside our homes. So we need those other mentors to be able to help guide them through things. Building game changers. That's our tagline. And it really embodies the things that we do. To give a little history of First Tee, we just got done with our 25th anniversary. Had a big meeting in Texas, got to see a bunch of people. It was great because COVID kind of knocked that out a few years back. But now that we're able to get back in person, we had a little network summit in Texas, and it was a blast. Getting to meet a lot of different people going through the same struggles that we go through on a day-to-day basis. What I was able to see was that there are so many people in our organization that have the mindset that guiding kids through life and preparing them is not just about the child itself, it's also about the family. And I was very encouraged to hear that from a lot of them, and we'll get to talk a little bit about that here soon. We have about 150 plus chapters. There's also 6 international locations. I met some of those international locations. They're literally putting and chipping on just dirt fields. And they just cut holes into the ground. And it's amazing the resiliency that some of these organizations go through just to make sure that they're able to pick kids through our program. And it's awesome to see. But first, before we get into that, I love to get moving a little bit. Now, we only have a few people on here, which is perfectly fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a online scavenger hunt. Okay. And what the end result is going to be is that if every single round you have something that you can show or do that's a part of whatever the round is, you're going to get a point. At the end of it, whoever has the most points, there you go. Jen said, I'm going to put this camera on because Jen's a competitor. Just so you guys know, I know Jen. I used to work at the Boys and Girls Club. I love that woman with all my heart. She is amazing, amazing. So I'm so glad to see her today. But she's a competitor, so she went ahead and put that camera on real quick. I like that in you. Jess, are you able to? And if not, that's okay. You can just raise your hand if you do have that. I trust that we're all adults and being honest here. I will trust that if you raise your hand and say that you have something, then we will count that as good. So first and foremost, the end result will be a prize. I'm not going to tell you what the prize is yet, but you'll see what it is. Okay. So first round is, are you able to staple or paperclip 2 different colored pieces of paper together and be able to hold it up on the screen? Boom, that works. That works. Yeah, Mary's moving a little bit. Oh, I see it. There you go. That's good. That's good. Okay. I think Mary's working hard to grab something. Oh, you're muted, Mary. Couldn't hear you.
I don't know if it counts if you scribble on one paper, so it makes it a different color.
Ooh, I like the outside the box thinking. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I don't know who knows anything about golf, but some of the things when we're teaching kids, we talk about thinking outside the box. So, you know, moments where the sand is really, really hard and it might be out of there, grab your putter, grab the putter and just kind of move down the sand trap. Katie, hello. Thank you for coming in. If you're able to, are able to open up your video so that we can have this little scavenger hunt. If not, that's okay. Just raise your hand when you have the items. Okay. We'll go with, you got 20 seconds for each one to see if you can make it happen, okay? All right, next round. Nice, good, good. All right, Katie, good job. There you got some, perfect, Perfect. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. Next round. Next round. Ooh. Nice. There we go. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. No, hold on. Don't show the pay stub. Gotta say, hey, look at 6 on. I love that. I love that. I see you, Katie. Good, good. All right, all right. See if you got one of those. That's good. Okay, all right. A couple of them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, that works. That works. All right. Looks like everybody's scoring 100% so far. And that next one. Ooh, this one might be trouble. This one might be hard. We just won a Super Bowl. You got to have something in your office. There you go. All right. All right. Nice. Hey, there's that Chiefs hat. I love to see it. I love to see it. Good, good. All right. Next round. Next round. Ooh. Nonprofits. You got one of these somewhere. If you don't, that's okay. Nice. There we go. There you go. Nice. Good, good. Looks like Mary's got some. There it is. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Round 7. Everybody's got to have some of these, right? Perfect. There you go. I like it. I like it. I know Mary's got her. She went straight. There it is. There it is. Okay. Okay. Almost done here. Almost done here. I want to see who's going to do this one. I know Jen's got it. I know Jen's got it. That one was kind of a throw in right there. That was kind of a throw in. Okay, now if you watch TikTok at all, you'll know a certain sound or a song that you can give a few seconds to. Ooh, Jen wants to do it.
The one where he's like emotional damage.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Okay, and then one more. Who got this in there? I probably win that one. That was a cheat. That was a cheat code. That was a cheat code. Okay. Now, if you had 4 or more, raise your hand. Okay. 5 or more, raise your hand. 6 or more, raise your hand. 7 or more, raise your hand. And Jen with the one today. Everybody give her a round of applause. That was good. That was good.
That makes me feel better about skipping the TikTok one, actually.
Now, your prize is going to be a round of golf and beverages if you so want to partake with me, whenever you want to decide to schedule it.
I love it.
Anywhere, I got you. You and I go 9 holes, go play some golf, go have some drinks, have a great time. That sound like
I'm
fun?
a very, very bad golfer, so you've been warned.
Doesn't matter.
Perfect.
Doesn't matter. Not at all. At all.
Awesome.
I appreciate everybody's participation in that. You know, we it's something a little different that I wanted to try. I haven't done that yet, and I think I might stick to that next webinar. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fun. I appreciate you guys. Let's get back to it just a little bit. First tee, like you said, our tagline is building game change. How do we do that? What does that mean? What it means is being intentional with the things that you are doing. When you have an end goal in mind, which is to set kids up for success in the things that they are doing, whatever it is that they are doing, whether it is playing on another team sport, whether it is navigating a tough situation at school. Okay, they may not vibe with the teacher, they may not get along with the teacher, minute, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter what the problem is at school, they have to be able to navigate that, because a lot of times parents can't just move away, or they can't just take them out of school, they can't go homeschool, and they can't take them to some other location, go buy a house somewhere else. There's a lot of limitations of why kids get stuck in the situations that they are. I see it every day in athletes who can't get along with coaches, but their families are not willing or cannot take them somewhere else to be able to have that child have that safe mental space. First T is huge on making sure that kids feel comfortable with the things that they are doing. We're not going to force kids to do anything. We're just going to be able to offer them different ways to try to get involved, not just in the game of golf, but in the game of life. Our program reaches 2 million kids and teens every single year. Now, this slide right here, we do all of this. We have First Tee program at our golf courses. Our main partnership was with Great Life, but we have a partnership with Firekeeper, and we're working on right now on adding Jefferson County as well, because they have a couple courses out there, and they have a lot of kids out there that could absolutely use what our program does. The school program, what we do is we teach PE teachers and admins what our program is about, how to teach small lessons, mini lessons, basically. And we give them snag equipment. That this equipment is plastic. A normal golf club is, maybe about that big, but the snag equipment is about twice that size. And what that does is allows more room for error for kids to be able to participate. And it's not actual golf balls that you use. You guys ever played that game with the, you tape it to your hand, it has little sticky tennis balls that go to it, and you peel it off and you throw it to somebody else and it smacks and they peel it off and they throw it back? That equipment is the same thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of got to get around to it and it's going to stick. Okay. Now, what we do with that is those tennis balls, those clubs, and different materials we use, kids don't have to be perfect to have success. That's something that is kind of lost in a lot of our kids nowadays, is when they're looking through Instagram, they're looking through all these different social medias, and they think success is perfection. Success can be in a lot of different ways, a ton of different ways. So if I set up a sign that has a bullseye, but then it has a bunch of different rings that still have points and counts, and it counts towards something, kids will hit that. They may not hit the bullseye. The bullseye on a normal golf course would be the hole that you're hitting to. But in our school equipment and our community equipment, kids just got to kind of get it near it. And if it sticks to it, they get that instant gratification. They get that light bulb. Oh, I did it. And they want to do it again. And you want to do it again. And you push them to want to do it again. You give them that positivity. And even when they miss, that's okay. That was great because you tried to do it, right? So we teach our school programs to do a little mini part of the program, to then have those kids then sign up for our First Tee program that's outside the schools later on, where they can get even more extensive work on the life skills and character development. Same thing is for the community programs, Boys and Girls Club, the Y. We have partnerships with them, and we're working with them to be able to implement our programs in their activities that they do on a daily basis anyway. They already do great work. We just want to help them elevate the things that they are doing by partnering with us, because there's no loss when you partner with us. There's always wins for the kids, because our goal as partnering organizations is always to make sure the kids have exposure to different activities and different ways of thinking about things. Just like Mary did a little bit ago, writing down the 6 on the paper or coloring something on the page to make it work. That's absolutely a huge part of what we do with kids. You don't have to do it exactly like everybody else does. Use that brain a little bit. Think outside the box. How can I still reach this goal? You may know some of these names on here. This is our current board of directors. Have a great group of people. We have some of these people who have been on since the beginning when we started 2 years ago. Trey Burton and Vicky Conroy. They just came on lately. Andrea York, she is our chairwoman. She is the dean of students at Wanamaker Elementary, a awesome lady. If you don't know who she is just great. Her and I went to high school together. So having a board chair and executive director that know each other on a very, very deep level only makes anything that the organization does shine even brighter, because there's a clear understanding of what the goals and aspirations are. At First Tee, young people are empowered with strong character and life skills critical for success in school, career, and in their communities. We take a huge priority in making sure that kids have a big perspective on the things that we do and the activities that we put them through. Safety is a huge piece of what we do. Just like Boys and Girls Club and other youth organizations, when you put safety first, everything else can fall in line, because kids have to know that they are well taken care of. Parents for sure need to know that their children, which they're trusting you to be with, they know that you're going to make sure that everything that you do is with the intent on making sure that their child comes back to them in the same manner or better than when they drop them off. When you want to be a volunteer or a coach, or volunteer coach or paid coach, doesn't matter what it is, you still have to go through the same trainings so that everybody has a clear understanding of what our requirements are when it comes to when you're being a mentor and being a volunteer in the program. Now, our organizational values align a lot with what the Kansas Mentors mission is. We have a passion for impact. We like to power through with perspectives, a culture of acceptance, personal growth through golf, and fun with intention. Now, when you talk about a passion for impact, something I wanted to make sure you guys know numbers and you guys know the impact of mentoring and what it can do. So I'm not going to preach to the choir and say a bunch of numbers of how impactful mentoring is, because you guys being here, you already know it. 16 million American youth, that's 1 in 3, will reach the age of 19 without a mentor of any kind. But yet, research shows that mentoring strengthens both young people, families, and communities. Now, I imagine that you guys probably have a personal experience with seeing how that actually does work in real life. Can anyone give an example of how they've seen that come to fruition? How the impact of being a mentor is for young people?
Well, we have mentors here at the club as well. I think during COVID, a lot of our staff, myself included, were just on such autopilot that we needed to kind of take time to reconnect with our mission and why we're here. So we all kind of got matched up with a mentee here at the club. So I've been matched up with my mentee since March of 2020. And we match for all different reasons, but for a lot of them, it's because they don't have an adult that's consistently showing up for them. So if they can count on, even if it's just 1 hour a week, but they know Thursdays at 4 o'clock, they're going to have a full uninterrupted hour with me. Just that consistency for them makes an impact. They feel like they can trust a little bit more. So I think those are the types of impacts we see here the most.
Absolutely. That's a great example. And kudos to you for making sure that you consistently be there for that child. Like I said, I know you personally. I know you have other things that you have to do outside of your work. You have a daughter who is young and thriving, and I know you and your husband are such good examples for her. So making sure that you're there for the other kids when you don't necessarily have to be is very admirable, and I appreciate that. Because we know that young people who have mentors or who had mentors report setting higher educational goals and are more likely to attend college. Now, is college everything? In 2023, we know that's not everything, but we do know it's a big leg up. And we do know when kids have that aspiration for extra education past high school, it allows them to be able to meet and network and be a part of a different community that is focused on going forward and not just being stuck at what they are doing. The power through perspective. Our young people reported greater ability to transfer what they learned at First Tee to contexts such as school, home, and other sports teams, like I talked about before. Our program is effective in promoting positive youth development through our intentional curriculum, training of coaches, and effectively deliver the curriculum and support of the caring relationships with coaches and mentors and peers. When we put a focus, which is what we do, we put a focus on making sure that we have the right people in our organization to be able to conduct our programs. Let me tell you a little bit about how we do it at First Tee Greater Topeka. It takes a long time for anyone to come into our program and be a part of our kids. The reason is because I view every single child who comes through our program as one of my kids. So I'm going to vet whoever is wanting to be a part of our program, whoever is going to be spending time with our kids. I vet them a little longer than what I probably should. What I mean by that is before I even have you put your paperwork in, make sure that we can run a background check. Before we do any of those things, I have to personally have lunch with you, go have coffee with you, spend hours with you, if possible, just so that I can understand your vibe. It is very easy for someone to give a glowing first impression, okay? And then once you get them in the doors, and then their true nature starts to come out. I try to break through all of that in our first meeting. I don't want a 15-minute conversation. I want to be with you for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I want to get lost in the conversation with you. And when I do that, I have learned to be able to say certain things or ask certain questions to get your reaction of how you would conduct yourself in a certain scenario. Because if I feel that I wouldn't trust you with my child, I just won't bring you into the program. I can say no, thank you in a very nice way and professional way to make sure that people don't feel like they're bad people. They're just not a right fit for us and what we're doing. I don't care about a lot of people's personal ideology. That part does not matter to me. How you feel about kids and how your perspective on how kids should be developed, that's what I care about. The culture of acceptance. First Tee is committed to continuing to break down barriers that keeps kids and families from feeling like they belong, no matter what walk of life. We aim to develop a deep understanding of the audience we serve and reflect this in everything we do. Our work is even more powerful when we invite, listen, and learn from diverse perspectives. That's such a huge, huge thing for families. How many times have you guys heard, and maybe you have, maybe you haven't, I don't know who have golf in their history, but golf is seen by a lot of people as an old white man sport. I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. That's what a lot of people see golf as. And it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. There's so many ways for people to get, and I love the way that the PGA Tour, which is our parent company, First Tee is supported by the best golfers in the world and the best golf organization in the world. But when we talk about diversity, we talk about meeting kids where they are, whether it's handicaps, whether not handicaps in golf, but something in life that physically or mentally handicaps you from being able to do normal activities, color your skin, your how much money you make, whatever the case may be, we break down all those barriers. So when kids come to us and they want to participate, or we need to go to them to find out if they want to participate, you don't have clubs, doesn't matter, we'll find them for you. You don't have the funds to be able to get into the program, don't worry, we'll find scholarship money for you. We don't turn away any child for any reason except if they are not being safe and intentionally trying to hurt others. That's literally the only thing we ever take kids out for. You can have tough mental days. You can have whatever, transportation problems, whatever the case may be. We try to make sure we break down every single one of those barriers. That culture of acceptance and meeting kids where they are is extremely important to be able to get people to engage with you and stay long-term into your program. These are our 5 commitments that we ask kids to be in our program. When we talk about, these are the things that we focus on when it doesn't matter the age, because we serve 6 to 18. Talk about pursuing goals, growing through challenges, collaborating with others, building positive self-identity, and using good judgment. When they first were trying to hire me for this job, this is one of the things that they showed me. And this is what made me fall in love with this organization and know that this is what's culminated to my life's work. Jen will tell you, and I remember what she said, and I love her for it. Not the exact term, but it was, this is perfect for you at this time. And I can't remember exactly what the words were, but it was just like, this is exactly what you were about. And this is, it's just going to be amazing. And she's right. You know, I look up to Jen, and she was right. This organization embodies everything that I'm about. I love people being positive about themselves. I'm not saying you always have to be positive. I'm not saying you have to fake being happy when you're not. That's not what that is about. What that is waking up every single day, which is something I know I do for sure, and everybody else does, because you want to make sure you ain't got the crusties in your eyes. You want to make sure you ain't got the boogers in your nose, all that. You want to look in the mirror every single day. So when you look in the mirror and you check yourself, be positive in that. Have that positive reinforcement to yourself. Look yourselves in the eyes and truly tell yourself, I belong. I am enough. I can do this, whatever the challenges may be. Because the majority of the time, when someone just believes in themselves, they can accomplish so much. So it's important that we have people in our organization that believe that self-positivity is an important part of being able to power through the things that they go through in life. Because if I don't believe in myself, how am I supposed to get anyone else to believe in me? There's going to be other organizations and people who are like, come on, I know you can do it. But if it's always self-pity and woe is me, you're not just draining yourself, you're draining the people who are trying to help you. So you got to make sure that even on some of my bad days, I'm going to still take my foot off this bed, put it down on this floor, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go get it. Because it doesn't matter if what you go do is small, big, on the whole grand scheme of thing. Every little inch matters. Everything you do, the step stacks upon itself. So if you continue to push yourself and you go through all the challenges that you have, you're able to accomplish those goals that you're pursuing. Sorry, I get really passionate about that. Let me calm myself down. Okay, back to it. Okay, having the good people in the program, having the mentors. Let me see where we're at for time. I do not want to go more than 30 minutes. Okay. All right. Having those good people in your program allows you to be able to deliver the First Seed program like this. Because when you have the curriculum, which is activity-based and mastery-driven, it has a goal, it has a purpose. Every single activity we do, you can link it to a life lesson. When you talk about pursuing goals, if I'm trying to hit this ball to a hole that I can't even see, what is that talking about? When you're bridging that to life, what is that about? I may not be able to envision every single goal. I may not be able to see exactly what something is going to be like, but I can have a good sense of what it is. I have a path that I can take multiple routes to get to this destination that I don't even see, that doesn't even exist. I want to create a business. I have some ideas for a nonprofit. I know what my end result is. Now I got to be able to navigate and find out how to get there. Hundreds of different ways. Write a different color on a piece of paper. Now this piece of paper is different. There's lots of different ways to get to the same destination. Empowering youth and continuous learning. When all those things with the activity-based and mastery-driven, when they all fit together, this is what it means to have true impact on kids. True impact. It's structure, it's a goal, and it's motivation provided to them and pulling that out of them to be able to get to the goals that they're trying to get to. Some cool statistics about how our impact is lasting for the things that we do. When you're talking about 85% of kids say the program helped them be better students, what's the ripple effect of that? When we have better students who are more focused on the things that they're doing in school, they have more leverage when they get out of school. They have more people believing them, because we all know some teachers who kind of give up on kids, especially when they get to the teenage area. There's a lot of people who feel that those once they get to teens, oh, they're set in who they are. They're set in their ways. You don't need to give too much more into them. If they're already like this, they're going to be like that forever. And because this is recorded, I'm not going to say what it is, but it's some BS. Okay. I cannot stand when people give and they give up on kids at these age groups, because kids develop different skills at different times. There's a 14-year-old who may have the simple mindset of an 8-year-old only because that's what he falls back on. Whatever the home situation is, the child knows that if I seem more adolescent, things aren't as hard for me. So then they trigger that, or they do that in every other part of their life. Let me just act a fool because this is hard, this is tough. Let me just kind of act up a little bit and be a kid and act real childish so that somebody just kind of leaves me alone. They put me in a room and I'm good to go and I don't have to do whatever it is. That's whack. You got to pour into those kids. Sometimes you got to pour more into them than you do the littles. The littles, you can give tiny little pockets of love and cup filling for them, and that stuff lasts. The problem is that people get into the teenage years and people understand, well, I just poured a little bit to your brother or your sister, and they're filled up and they're good. Why did I pour the same amount of you and you're still here? Well, all that means is that you just need to pour more into that cup. You need to invest more into that child, because the child, no matter what is going on, they see it. You may go 2, 3, 4, 5 steps and still be getting resistance. They're just waiting for you to give that 6th and 7th step. That's all they're doing, because everybody else stops at 5. Everybody else stops at 4. You just got to pour a little more into them, and then you can have the impact lasting that you're trying to get to. Some of these things we just talked about a little bit ago, how people in our program feel more confident in school and the things that they do. Why do people come to First T? We touched on a lot of this already, but when you look at those bottom 2 numbers right there, talking about 11,000 elementary schools, we're getting there. Wherever there's schools, we're getting there. You can't have 150 chapters across an entire nation and not have impact at the schools at the school level, and making sure that kids have a tiny understanding about what our program is and what it's about. We talked about the challenges that they have. Okay, we can't allow and we can't accept 1 in 7 kids not graduating. That's laziness on our part. And I say our part because I imagine a lot of us on here are parents. It's laziness on our part. It may not have been in your specific home, but it was in somebody else's. It may have been in your neighbors. It may have been in your friends, and you may have seen certain things happen and be like, well, I got my job. I got this. I can't go help parent that parent. What does parent the parent mean? To me, I know what it means, because I know how much I'm pouring into these kids when we're coaching basketball, golf, whatever the case may be. If that kid then goes back to the same setting that they were in, where they had the bad behaviors, not bad behaviors, they had the bad leadership. I won't even say bad. I'm gonna come back to that, because I don't want to say bad leadership. There's no parents that have bad leadership. They just don't know any better. That's the thing that I've realized. I don't think people intentionally, some people, there are some criminals who are intentionally bad parents, but some people just don't know how to parent. You know, there's tons of resources for people to be able to become better parents and better supporters of their children. But if folks don't find the need, or they have the time, or they think it's for them, whatever those barriers are, we got to make sure we break those down. And that's what we're doing with the kids. But when we send the kids back home, the kids going back to an environment to where they have to now use those defense mechanisms to cope, just to get along in there. So whatever we're teaching them going there, if the parent or the household that they are in can't mirror that or can't support the things that we're saying, a lot of times we're spinning our wheels. But does that mean I'm going to take my foot off the gas? Because a lot of times I'm spinning my wheels with some of these kids? No. At some point, I'm going to catch a grip. At some point, we're going to go forward. And when I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, it's probably because I haven't put enough traction down. What I mean by that is I haven't put more things into it to be able to grab. That means I need to go talk to those parents and almost parent those parents sometimes. I find way more success when we take the time to engage the families on a real level in participating into the program, bringing them in as volunteers. That's more bonding time. If you have the time to be able to do it, come spend the time with your child. Now, the things that we're saying to them, we're really saying to you so that you can be better for your child in those moments. And you both can reference. You remember when we were talking about that at first tee? This is why we're saying that. All of a sudden, that light bulb clicks. Oh, well, I remember that from class. I never understood why you wanted me to do that, Mom. I never understood why we had to do that, Dad. And now stuff starts to clicking. And that's what you want. But it only works if you involve the entire family. Some more statistics about what our program does. Statistics are fun, but that's not the full story. Creating those safe spaces is extremely important. Making sure that kids feel comfortable, especially when they're trying a brand new sport to them. Basketball, football, soccer, those things are easy. Easy to teach, easy to get kids involved with because so many kids that they see on a daily basis do those things. Golf's different. Golf's different. It's a sport that's been around longer than a lot of those other sports, but it's not something that has always been accessible to everyone. Now it is. Now there's a huge space for it. So now when kids come into that space, they're like, I don't know if I really belong here. Yes, you do belong. And it's our job as an organization to be able to create that space for them to feel very comfortable and participate into the program. The mentorship, that's what we're here about today. All right. Our participant and coach relationships are extremely important. Like we talked about, we vet at first tee grade Topeka, we vet our people way more than what other chapters do. Now, those other chapters may have more numbers. They may focus on, we got to get all of our sessions full. We got to make sure all the kids are there. That's fine. That's great. I don't care about that. I just don't. I find that if we have more impact with the amount of kids that we have, we are doing way more than what those other organizations are. I'm not churning out numbers. I'm meeting people. Our coaches are connecting with people. Not we happen to have 25 kids today at this class. Isn't that great? Yeah, that's great. How many times did you get to have conversations with them? While others were chipping, did you have the space to be able to sit down and have a few minutes with one kid? No, because you got 25 bodies running around, and Jen will tell you, when you got people going everywhere doing this stuff, you can't make those connections. Because even if you start to make the connection and that next thing you know, you got to take your mind away from it. Whatever you did in that 3 or 4 minutes that you just made that connection, that kid saw you immediately make somebody else a priority, and it was lost. It's just lost that quickly. So we have to be able to have enough people in our program to match the certain numbers, which we go to a 1:6 ratio. We don't go beyond that ever. I will cancel programs. I will cancel classes before I will ever have our participants and our coaches away from that 1:6 ratio, because it's that important to us. Some more, I think that was on another slide over there. I apologize, I should have taken that out. But yes, talking about the environment. And again, it starts with the people that you have in your program. You have to be able to create a comfortable environment with the people you have in the program so that parents and kids feel safe to come to you. You guys know what's going on around this world. You know it, you see it. We want to trust organizations with our children, but there's so many people putting black eyes on nonprofits, putting black eyes on coaching and all these other things where we're trusting you with our children. How can you get involved in a program and then want to take advantage of my child? We make sure that we don't have people on our program that do that. We constantly check, and we do background checks every 2 years. We make sure they do it through Safe Sport training every single year. But then I have constant meetings and conversations with people to make sure that the stuff that they are doing on a day-to-day basis while they have our kids with them is extremely above board and made so that not only they are safe, but that the families feel safe as well. There's ways to join us, and we can talk about those later. If you'd like to, feel free to reach out. And that is the end of my slide right there. Are there any questions? I know we got 150 right now. I went over my 35, didn't I? I sure did. I apologize. Just a smidge. I get so passionate about this stuff. I'm sorry. I really, really had intentions to shut up. So I'm going to do that.
No need to apologize. This is what this space is all about. And everything you shared was definitely worthwhile. So yeah, please don't apologize.
All right, folks. Thank you. I really do appreciate the time to speak with you. This was fun. Thanks for being some guinea pigs on the first online scavenger hunt I've done. I love that. That was so good. And Jen, I look forward to us playing some golf together. My information, I will put into the chat, and you guys feel free to reach out and let me know how I can help, okay?
Thank you for all that you do at First Tee, Marcus. It's such a great organization.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you again for being our guest speaker today, Marcus. And I look forward to working with you more in the future. And I know that you have lunch plans to head to, so feel free to go ahead and cut off. I have a few things to share with our group, so if you guys don't mind sticking around for a few more moments. But thank you again, Marcus.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It was lovely having you. Okay, so just real quickly, I just like to remind our group that this is a program of the Kansas Volunteer Commission, and the vision is to empower all Kansans to meet community needs through service. And our primary role is to provide resources and leadership to support local initiatives that tackle community needs. And as a state service commission, the commission directs effective national service programs and provides resources and training to advance volunteerism, mentoring, and civic engagement. And thank you again for being part of today's webinar. This is part of a monthly series that I'm hosting on the first Thursday of each month from 1 to 2. We also have monthly volunteer engagement webinars if you haven't signed up for those, and also civic engagement webinars. And then, of course, can't forget to talk about our mini grant series. For those who are interested, we just opened up the social justice capacity building mini grant, and that one accepts applications through the end of this month. And then we will have the grant period itself July 1st through December 31st. And if you have any questions or would like more information, please email us at volunteer@ksde.org for that. And then for our June topic is grief support through peer mentoring. We'll have Sarah Federston. She is the program director with Kids Cope, and that is a program of the Wichita Children's Home, which provides grieving children and their families with community and peer support, ensuring that no child ever has to grieve alone. And then if you need to find more information about us, you can visit our website at canserve.org. You can also sign up for our monthly newsletter just by emailing volunteer@ksde.org. You can also invite me or any of my colleagues to come present information around civic engagement, volunteer engagement, and AmeriCorps programs. And then also follow us on all our social media. You could find us just by typing in Kansas Volunteer Commission. All right, and there is my contact information. And before I let you guys go, because it looks like we have a few minutes, does anyone have any questions? Let's see, I see now. We do not offer CEUs for these webinars per se. I can talk to my director and find out if that's something that we can offer up in the future, but as of right now, it is not. Thank you. That's the first time anyone's asked me that. So I'll follow up with you, Jess, on that one. Okay, with that being said, thank you guys again for joining me today, and I hope to see you guys at the next one. So take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.